the moment you've all been waiting for. My 2019 NFL mock draft. And I'm going to go ahead and throw the primetime music back up because I'm going to take about 20 minutes here. I made notes. I got every pick. I'm going to go through one by one, and I want you guys to tell me what you think I got right and what you think I got wrong. Go ahead and tweet me at real_BWorld. Here we go. With the first pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select Kyler Murray, quarterback, Oklahoma. Murray has been linked to Arizona ever since new head coach Cliff Kingsbury came aboard. I think Rosen will go to either the Giants, the Chargers, or the Patriots for a second-round pick. And the Cardinals start over with a 5'10", 207-pounder. With the second pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Nick Bosa, defensive end, Ohio State. Nick Bosa is arguably the most talented player in the 2019 draft, and the Niners are in a great position. They basically tanked last season once Jimmy G went down. They signed a lot of good free agents like Jason Verrett, Quan Alexander, and Tevin Coleman. They have their QB of the future. They have a good defensive line to Forrest Buckner and Eric Armstead, and Nick Bosa would make their front seven even better. Easy pick for San Francisco. With the third pick, I have the Jets selecting Josh Allen, not the quarterback for Buffalo, the edge rusher from Kentucky. There's a rumor the Jets could be moving down to number 3, but there's no QB to me that's worth trading up for at this spot. And the Jets need defensive linemen in Greg Williams' defense. The thing I found interesting is Greg Williams ran a 4.3 in Cleveland and with the St. Louis Rams. And yes, they were St. Louis at that time. I did not butcher that. But he's staying with a 3.4 in New York. And he said he has 56 different packages. You know, typical Greg Williams style. You know, he can run 56 packages. You know, a 2.45, a 1.46, whatever. But the Jets defense is a great secondary and a great linebacker, Mosley. Now they need a great outside linebacker next to him. In Kentucky's Josh Allen. Allen has good size. He has good speed. And will do well in Greg Williams' defense. Hold on one second. There we go. I just want to make sure I got the lights back on here. We are on a motion timer. So let's get back to it. Number 4. I got Oakland selecting Ed Oliver, the defensive tackle out of Houston. Last season, the Raiders traded away Khalil Mack and had no pass rush. Now, with Antonio Brown on their team, their offense will be good enough to win some games, but they still need defense, and Oliver is an athletic freak who will help the Raiders' defense a bunch. Now, here's the interesting one I have at number 5. All of the mock drafts say Tampa Bay is going to take a defensive lineman. And I'm like, wait a minute. They have Villa and they have Gerald McCoy, and they're a 3-4 defense. They don't need defensive linemen. So here's what I think. If the Dolphins want a quarterback, they're going to jump over the Giants. Tampa Bay will trade back. And with the number 5 pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, I have Miami selecting quarterback Dwayne Haskins out of Ohio State. And again, like I said, the Bucs do not need the pick here. The best players available for the next 5 picks are all defensive linemen, and the Bucs are set with D linemen. The Dolphins will jump up over the Giants to take a quarterback. I'm not in love with Haskins, and I don't think Miami is a good landing spot, but I think that's the direction they go with new head coach Brian Flores. The Giants, I think, will take the best player available, Quinn Williams. I do not think the Giants will take a quarterback, even if Miami doesn't jump up. And I think that Quinn Williams, a 303-pounder from Alabama, is the right pick. The Giants are rebuilding, and they'll start by doing it through the trenches. And to me, Williams is the best player in the draft. He's a 303-pound athletic freak. The Jaguars, I think, will take tackle Jawaan Taylor from Florida. The Jags are going to need to rebuild their offensive line in order to protect Nick Foles, and Taylor is the best tackle in the draft. 6'5", 312 pounds, athletic, powerful, and mean, and he has long arms. The Lions, I think, take T.J. Hawkinson, the tight end out of Iowa. Matt Patricia used to be on the same team as Rob Gronkowski. Matthew Stafford needs weapons. Hawkinson is being compared to Gronk. Great blocker, 6'5", and fast and athletic. This pick makes all of the sense in the world for Detroit. Number 9, I have Buffalo selecting Jonah Williams, the offensive guard out of Alabama. The Bills need somebody to protect for Josh Allen, and Williams is the best player on the board at this point. Number 10, I have Denver selecting linebacker Devin White out of LSU. Best player on the board, quick and finds the football, and new head coach Vic Fangio, a defensive mind, will want a defensive guy as his first pick. The Bengals, I have, hold on one second. Sorry about that, I didn't put the board in animation mode. So the Bengals, with the 11th pick, I have Devin Bush, linebacker out of Michigan. Why? It would be so Cincinnati to drop a linebacker from Michigan, but Bush is the real deal. And consistent on getting sacks, but he hit the quarterback in college. He trusts his eyes, and he's a great tackler. Let's see, the Packers, I think, select Rashawn Gary, the edge out of Michigan. And why do I think that is? I think back-to-back Michigan players go here. Green Bay has been using their drafts over the last 2 years to rebuild their defense, and Gary can play on the edge in Mike Penn's 3-4 defense. Great pursuit on run plays. Now, the Bucs. This is the trade they made with Miami. I think they're taking DJ Metcalf, the wide receiver out of Mississippi. Trading back with Miami will allow the Bucs to get a guy to play opposite of Mike Evans. The 6'3" wide receiver can block and go up and get the ball, something Arians loves as a wide receiver. I think the Falcons take Greedy Williams, the corner out of LSU. Williams is a big corner at 6'2", something Dan Quinn likes. The Falcons need help on the defense side of the ball, and Williams, the best corner in the draft, at this point is the best player available. I think the Redskins take Montez Sweat, the edge out of Mississippi State. I don't think Washington goes after a quarterback this year, and Sweat fits the need of a 3-4 defense, and they need a Preston Smith replacement. I think Carolina takes Andre Dillard, the offensive tackle out of Washington State. Depending on Cam Newton's injury, Carolina may be terrible this year, but they need help on the offensive line, and Dillard is again the best player available at this point. Now the Giants with the Browns pick, I think they select Garrett Bradley out of NC State. And he's a center, by the way. The Giants will be building for the trenches in the draft. With them taking Williams earlier, I think they can get an offensive lineman here. Bradley is the best center in the draft. Athletic, 6'3", just above 300 pounds. The Vikings, Quinn Griffin's team. I think select Dexter Lawrence, the defensive lineman out of Clemson. That'd be a really good pick for them, Q. The Vikings need a Sheldon Richardson replacement, and Lawrence is that guy. 6'4", 342 pounds. I love big defensive linemen, and so does Mike Zimmer. Hold on one second, my page is stuck. There we go. Alright, the Titans at number 19. I think select Chris Lindstrom, the offensive guard out of Boston College. The Titans got Mariota hurt last year, and so they need to protect him better by bolstering their offensive line. They got Roger Stafford from the Rams, but they need another guard, and that's where Lindstrom comes in. The Steelers, I think, will select Lonnie Johnson Jr., the corner out of Kentucky. The Steelers' biggest weakness is cornerback. Johnson Jr. is a 6'2" corner with fast feet and can press. He fits the Steelers' style perfectly. The Seahawks, I think, select Jeffrey Simmons, defensive tackle out of Mississippi State, number 21. Last year, Seattle started getting younger on defense, and they continue to do that this year with Simmons, who is a 300-pound lineman and can move. The Ravens, I think they select Brian Burns, the edge out of Florida State. The Ravens lost a lot of different pieces on defense this offseason, and they need a new linebacker after letting C.J. Mosley go. Burns can fly to the ball and is a good physical tackler. He fits Baltimore's mold. 23, I have the Texans selecting Cody Ford, the offensive lineman out of Oklahoma. Something Ford is the left tackle equivalent of Lane Johnson, the starting right tackle of the Eagles, who went to Oklahoma, the 4th pick in the 2013 draft. And if that's true, Ford would be a steal for Houston. Watson got hit a lot last year, and they need to protect him. Ford is a rare 329-pound athletic freak on the offensive line. The Raiders, I think that they select, now this would be the Bears pick, by the way. I think they select Josh Jacobs, the running back out of Alabama. Jacobs is the best back in the draft, a power back at 220. The fact he's only 5'10" won't stop John Gruden from picking his running back of the future in Jacobs. Now, my Eagles with the 25th pick in the draft. I think they select Christian Wilkins, the defensive tackle out of Clemson. The Eagles front office has made it clear this offseason they are going to build through the trenches in this draft. Even though the defensive line is stacked, Jim Schwartz could also use more. Wilkins is a 315-pound run stuffer with great character. He would fit the Birds' locker room perfectly. The Colts, I think, select safety Jonathan Abraham out of Mississippi State. The Colts need another safety, and Abraham can play more in the box, allowing defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus to move Malik Hooker to that free safety center field position. The Raiders, with the Cowboys pick, I think they select the second tight end in the draft. That comes out of Iowa, Noah Fant. The second tight end off the board from Iowa in the first round, as I said, Fant is a perfect Jared Cook replacement. And then finally, at 28, I had the Packers trading with the Chargers. I think the Chargers move back a couple spots. I think Green Bay gets Jeremy Pratt, the linebacker out of NC State. I don't think the Chargers need the pick, and they can move back 2 spots for another pick to allow Green Bay to move up to get their Clay Matthews replacement. Pratt is 6'2", 240. He was fast, can tackle, and hit the quarterback. Something Mike Penn loves. At number 29, I got the Kansas City Chiefs selecting Byron Murphy, the cornerback out of Washington. The Chiefs' defense needs a lot of work, and Murphy is a 5'11" corner who can play in the slot and has great IQ. Then I think the Chargers, who moved back with Green Bay, they select Justin Lane, the quarterback out of Michigan State. Why? Because he's a former wide receiver. He's 6'2", great hands, good football IQ, and they can outdo the Chiefs with this pick. I think the Rams get their Roger Saffold replacement with Connor McGovern, offensive guard out of Penn State. McGovern can play both guard and center. He'll replace Stafford in the line at left guard. He can open his hips, does not get bull rush, decent pass protection, and good run blocking. And finally, with the 32nd pick, I got the Browns trading with New England. I think the Browns will move up in the first round because I don't think New England, they always trade back. I think the Browns get their guy here, Greg Little, offensive lineman out of Mississippi. I think Little could be the next great left tackle in Cleveland. He's athletic, a really good pass blocker, and should do the job to keep Baker Mayfield upright. And again, I trust him better than Greg Robinson. And with that being said, guys, that is my mock draft. Hey guys, this is Brandon Lewis from Brandon's World here. Make sure you leave a like and comment right down below. And make sure you check out the show every Saturday from 10 to noon on BuckstoreRadio.com, the TuneIn app, or right here on the YouTube channel. Thanks, and you guys already know. See ya! It's out of here. It's Brandon's World.